Hi, this is Ogres, and this video review is on the NXT 2.0 episodes from December 21st, 2021 and December 28th, 2021. I was supposed to record these videos 2 or 3 days ago, excuse me, but I'm only just getting around to it today. Yeah, it's on my whiteboard. I was supposed to record it on New Year's Eve, so I'm only just now doing it. I'm going to record both of the episode reviews in the same video because it will save me some time, and because there was only 6 matches on both shows anyway. So these are the last 2 episodes of NXT 2.0 before NXT New Year's Evil this week, or not this week, next week, which is, for me in Australia, January 5th, 2022. In America, it's January 4th, 2022 on the USA Network. So that is about just over 3 days from now for both locations. But yeah, today's recording date is January 2nd, 2022. It's now just after 8 a.m. So let's get into the review of NXT 2.0 from December 21st, 2021. I watched this on New Year's Eve. So the opening segment was Ciampa has a reality check for Braun Breaker. Then there's a promo. Grayson Waller talks trash on AJ Styles. I believe this is the episode where AJ Styles made his first appearance in NXT 2.0 to confront Grayson Waller. Let me just check. Do I have that written down? No. Oh yeah, it is here. Okay. Then there's a promo backstage. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai brawl backstage. And then that sets up the opening match, which is Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai in the street fight. This is the blow-off to their feud, which goes back to NXT TakeOver 36, when there were takeovers, I believe. So, yeah, 4 months took before this rivalry ended, or close to 4 months. But Raquel Gonzalez won by pinfall. There's a promo after that. Tony D'Angelo is ready for Pete Dunne. And Raquel Gonzalez after the match wanted Mandy Rose in a NXT women's title match, but Cora Jade came out and then she granted the match, but against both of them in a triple threat match at NXT. I think it's still called NXT New Year's Evil. But then Toxic Attraction came and attacked them from behind, so you can imagine what that would look like. There was a promo in the ring. Raquel and Cora Jade both want Mandy Rose. I just talked about that, yep. That was after the Tony D'Angelo promo. Then there's a promo backstage. Joe Gacy and Harlan make a public apology in regards to what happened to Brian Kendrick, I believe, the previous week on NXT 2.0. Let me just look for it. I think that's what happened, right? Yeah. That happened on the previous week's episode. There's a promo backstage. After that, grizzled young veterans discuss the creeds. There's a promo backstage after that. Grayson Waller confronts Indy Hartwell. Match number 2 was the Creed Brothers versus grizzled young veterans, but the Creed Brothers won by pinfall. One sec. Then there's a promo backstage. Trick Williams isn't afraid of Dexter Lumis. Then there's a promo. Elektra Lopez confronts Io Shirai. Then the match number 3 was Dexter Lumis versus Trick Williams, but Lumis won by... He used a submission hold, but he won by making Trick Williams pass out, so technically he won by submission. Then there's a promo. Pete Dunne responds to Tony D'Angelo. Sorry, guys, I'm dirty again. Then there's a promo. Elektra Lopez. No, I already did that. There's a promo. Pete Dunne responds to Tony D'Angelo, and then there's a promo in the ring. AJ Styles confronts Grayson Waller, which would play into what would happen on Raw, I think, the following week, which was on December 27th, I believe. Is that right? Which would have been last year. For both America and Australia. Yeah, just last week. No, that was earlier this week, actually. So technically it was still from earlier this week. But as of tomorrow here, it'll be last week. So yeah, that makes sense. Then there's a promo backstage. Diamond Mine challenges Carmelo Hayes. Then there's a promo. Riddle and MSK have the best day ever. Match number 4 was Von Wagner versus Edris Enofi, but Enofi won by pinfall, and then Von Wagner attacked him after the match. Then there's a promo backstage. Imperium comment on the journey of MSK. Then there's a promo backstage. Elektra Lopez is ready to destroy Io Shirai. Yeah, right. A lot of people have said that, and look what happened to them. I think Raquel Gonzalez was the only one to successfully take Io Shirai out for the NXT Women's title. So I doubt that Elektra Lopez is going to take out Io Shirai. So then there's a promo. NXT gives back for the holiday season. Match number 5 was Io Shirai versus Elektra Lopez, but Shirai won by pinfall. She's been my favorite in NXT, or what was NXT, since about, I think, 2019, from memory. Yeah, 2019, before she turned heel. So this would have been around Takeover New York is really when I started getting into her stuff. So I knew she was in Japan, wrestling in Japan, a few years before that, but yeah, I didn't start getting into her matches until around 2018, I think it was. Let me just check. It would have been sometime in 2018, but she would have been in NXT at that point. So yeah. What else? Then there's a promo backstage. Hayes answers Diamond Mine's challenge. And then there's a promo. Brian Kendrick responds to Joe Gacy's apology. Then match number 6 was Tony D'Angelo versus Pete Dunne in the main event. But Dunne won by pinfall, but Tony D'Angelo attacked him after the match by getting a crowbar, and then he held him and then smashed Pete Dunne's, I think, right hand with a crowbar on the table. That was a vicious assault after the match. So that's that episode of NXT 2.0 from December 21st, 2021. I thought it was a good episode. What would I grade it? I would grade it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do a grade for the best of WWF 2001 because that doesn't count as a normal episode of Raw and SmackDown from 2001. So, but for NXT 2.0, I would grade it. That episode, I would grade a C+. As a score, let me see what we got here. AJ Styles was on the show, so I'm going to be generous. That will get a 7.5 out of 10. So without AJ Styles, it's a solid 6 for me. Well, if he wasn't on the show, but 7.5. So C+, that translates to a B. So that's still very good. But people are still not watching NXT 2.0 for some reason. I think the best episode for 2021 was the Halloween Havoc episode in terms of ratings, I think. So I could be wrong. Anyway, so the next review will be on NXT 2.0 from December 28th, 2021. I also watched this on New Year's Eve. I was supposed to do a review on that yesterday, but it was just too hot. So the opening segment was Grayson Waller on his run-in with AJ Styles in relation to what I was talking about in the review of NXT 2.0 from December 21st. So yeah, I guess AJ Styles appeared on the screen for this episode of NXT 2.0, and he wants to confront Grayson Waller. He wants to confront Grayson Waller at New Year's Evil, which is not too long away from now. It's just over 3 days away, so it's next week. It's the first. For me here, it's the first Wednesday of 2022, but it'll be Tuesday in America when it airs on the USA Network. So I'll most likely be watching that on the highlights of that on YouTube first before I watch it on the WWE Network. It's going to be different though compared to the New Year's Eve last year. Last year, because it's no longer NXT, so it's NXT 2.0. So the opening match was Odyssey Jones versus Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller won by pinfall. Then there's a promo in the ring. MSK and Riddle challenge Imperium for the for a 6-man tag team match at New Year's Eve. Walter made an appearance on the screen. We haven't seen Walter since NXT TakeOver 36, so that was how many months ago was that? Before this episode, it was like over 4 months ago, I believe. So Match number 2 was Harlan versus Andre Chase. Harlan won by, I believe, knockout. I don't have that written down. By knockout. So, and then match number 3 was Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley in Stratton's debut match in NXT 2.0. It was fine for what it was, but I just don't like her theme and her presentation. It's too much for NXT 2.0, but whatever. She won by pinfall, and then there's a segment in the ring after this: Hayes versus Strong contract signing with Wade Barrett officiating the contract signing. It was okay, I guess, for a cruiserweight title versus a North American title match at New Year's Evil, but I'm just not a Roderick Strong guy. He just comes off as very, very generic in terms of his his promos to me. He's just a very, very good in-ring guy. Carmelo Hayes, I'll give it to him. He's good at doing the promos and his moves in the ring. So, somebody went through a table. I think it was Trick Williams by the Creed brothers. Then match number 4. Yeah, match number 4 was Solo Sikoa versus Santos Escobar. We had 3 matches in a row after this contract signing, so I can't remember last time that happened on NXT. It's been a while, or NXT 2.0. When was the last time there was 3 matches in a row with no segments? Let me see. Wasn't that? If I was to guess, it had to have been... That's not here, okay. It had to be probably in November or... Yeah, November probably of last year was probably the last time there was matches in a row. Because War Games, the 2.0 episode, NXT 2.0 episode after War Games had lots of promos and segments on the show. There was only 5 matches, okay, so that makes sense. Alright, where were we? Okay, match number 5 was Von Wagner versus Malik Blade. Wagner won by pinfall. And then the main event, which was match number 6, which was set up... was that set up early in the night? I think it was, yeah. It was Raquel and Cora Jade versus Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. This was for the winners of the match. The 2 winners would challenge Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's title. So Toxic Attraction's not in this match. They were supposed to face Raquel and Cora Jade. But yeah, Raquel and Cora Jade, not very smart what they did on this episode. In particular, I think it was Raquel, yeah. That's the reason why she should go up to the main roster. She's too intense for NXT 2.0 right now. Yeah, she would be a better fit for probably SmackDown when it comes to her intense wrestling, because she's not good at promos, let's be honest. She was good in that street fight against Dakota Kai. Was it the one I just covered, the December 21st episode of NXT 2.0? Only because there was a feud, there was a good story behind it. That was the only reason it was any good. So Raquel would have just, done her usual. What is the usual crap that she does? She would have just said, "You can't beat me," blah 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 blah, all that stupid big girl stuff that she would say. Here's what's wrong with that. Rhea Ripley took her to the limit at New Year's Evil. She only got lucky in that War Games match last year because she had good heels around her in that match. What else? And Io Shirai was a perfect opponent for her at that takeover last year. I think it was Stand and Deliver, because it was a big girl versus a smaller high flyer champion. So that made a lot of sense. Anyway, I was going off topic there. Raquel and Cora Jade won by pinfall, so they're still in the NXT Women's title triple threat match at New Year's Evil against Mandy Rose. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with that at New Year's Evil. And then there's the rematch from Halloween Havoc, Braun Breaker versus Tommaso Ciampa. I'm still into it, I guess, but I want to see if he makes any mistakes or not in that match. Then there's a title match. Is it a unification match or I'm not sure. It's the NXT North American champion Carmelo Hayes versus Roderick Strong, who's the NXT Cruiserweight champion. I think they're getting rid of the NXT Cruiserweight title, so that means, essentially it's kind of like what they did with the European title and the Hardcore title back in 2002. The Hardcore title was retired, I think, that year by Rob Van Dam. No, actually, no. That's not right. Rob Van Dam was, I think, the... Now I'm confused. He definitely... It was the European title versus IC title, I think. And then it was the IC title versus Hardcore. I can't remember, but he retired the European and Hardcore titles in 2002, from what I remember. It was Rob Van Dam did, yeah. Anyway, what's the other matches on it? It was NXT Tag Team titles at New Year's Evil. MSK versus Imperium. I really could care less at this point. Imperium are very generic, so I really could care less who wins. Oh no, wait, it's not the NXT Tag Team title. Sorry, it's a 6-man tag team match. Originally, I thought it was an NXT Tag Team title match, but they changed it. So with Riddle and Walter in there, it's actually more intriguing to me. If you want momentum for the faces, I would say they need to win this match, but let's see what happens. Is there any other matches? There's the confrontation between AJ Styles and Grayson Waller, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, that's the full video review of both NXT 2.0 from December 21st, 2021 and December 28th, 2021. Let's see how long I've been going for. I think it's been over 16 minutes. Okay. So I would grade this a better than last week in terms of the build. A B. And as a score, what would I give this as a score? I liked the opening to it. I liked the opening match was great. And then AJ Styles appearing on the screen was good. Riddle appearing again was good. Who else was there? Tiffany Stratton's debut was okay. The contract signing was good. And then the main event. I would say this was slightly better than last week. But again, the ratings were probably low again. But yeah, that's my review of those two NXT 2.0 episodes to close out 2021. Let me know what you thought about the video review in the comment section below. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. My next video review, which will be something that I need to do anyway, will be... What am I doing next? The list of stuff I was supposed to review is in another book. Okay. So what should I do next? I need to finish watching the takeovers from 2018. I've got one left to go, and that's Takeover Philadelphia. I think I'm up to the main event, so I'm almost done with that. So I'm going to review... I guess my next video review will be on the WWF SmackDown, the first SmackDown of 2002, January 3rd, 2002, just before Triple H's return on Raw, which is January 7th, 2002. But yeah, I believe today is the day of... or today here in Australia anyway. The day one pay-per-view is just a couple of hours or so away, so I guess technically that would be my next review, and then the WWF SmackDown from January 3rd, 2002. So yeah, this has been Ogres. Peace out.